So loud. All right, quality should be good. Mic should be good. Everything should be good. All right, so today we're going to be hitting some arms. Already did 2 minutes of cardio. Actually, I just remembered I got to stretch. I do full body stretches too. Like, it don't matter what I'm hitting that day. I do a full body stretch. So that's what we got to do. Ugh. We got to do that real quick. Then I'm going to actually jump into hitting arms. Stretching is pretty boring, but it's also a good time to answer any questions anybody might have. So works out for me. Let me get this pointed down. You guys are just gonna watch me stretch. Okay. Take my shoes off. As I'm stretching, feel free to ask any questions you might have. It's ultimately what I'm here for. Ooh. I always do 15 seconds per stretch. Oh. Feeling tight right now too, so it's not good. Oh. If you work out or you do anything that's even somewhat physical, you need to be stretching. It's definitely one of the best things I incorporated into my workout routine. If you guys are stuck and you're like, well, what kind of split should I hit? Then I'm also good at coming up with splits. Okay, typically I'd stretch my calves. I'd elevate my feet, but I don't see anything in here for me to really do that with. So I'm just gonna jump straight into the ground and do some other variations. Oh. I'm stretching for a while now before my workouts, and I'm telling you, just the growth, and I feel better. I feel loose. And funny enough, it's made me taller. I don't know. Someone might have to research that for me, but it's legitimately made me taller. Stretching has legitimately made me taller. So I think that's pretty crazy. Like, I think I've at least grown a few inches from it, which I'm sure there is some kind of science behind that that explains how that works, but I find it very interesting. Ooh, but yeah, just a 5-10 minute stretch before hitting any kind of workout before and after is very important, or at least just before. I do 5 to 10 to 15 minutes of walking. Typically 10. I always do 10 minutes of walking as soon as I get in the gym. 2.5 speed, 1 incline. I just walk. And after I finish that up, I'll drink some water, and then I'll come and stretch. And I do full body stretches. So if I'm hitting legs, I'll still stretch my upper body and my lower body. If I'm hitting arms, I'll still stretch my legs and my upper body. That's why I'm hitting arms today and I'm stretching my whole body still out. And then typically at the end, I'll do a 30-minute walking. And it's the same thing, 2.5 speed, 1 incline. The reason why I do 1 incline is because 1 incline, so the way that most treadmills are made, they're made kind of at a decline when you're walking, so it's bad for your ankles. It's better to be walking up than down on your ankles. So I heard some advice about that, and I've always just stuck to walking on 1 incline. Oh my gosh, those pops are insane. That could be some ASMR, but yeah, I've always heard to walk on 1 incline and not flat. It's better for your ankles, so that's kind of just what I stuck to. Oh. And then yeah, so since today I'm hitting arms, I'm gonna be obviously hitting shoulders. So I'm gonna be hitting front delts and side delts, and then biceps, and then triceps and forearms. Every muscle group, I typically at least try to get 8 sets. So it'd be a total of 8, 16, 24, 32 sets, because we're going to do 8 sets on shoulders, 8 sets on biceps, 8 sets on triceps, 8 sets on forearms. Well, sometimes forearms I don't typically do, I don't always do a full 8 sets. I'll typically just use one exercise for forearms, because forearms usually gets hit just all throughout the workout, and I do forearms last. And the nice thing, so like when I do hammer curls, that's hitting my biceps and my forearms, so I'm already just knocking out 2 for 1 kind of thing. Being efficient, I guess you could say. Yeah, hold on. I do even more. I used to do these in basketball, and man, they're great. Can't even really see what I'm doing. Hold on. We used to do these in basketball, and wasn't a fan of it then, but I'm a fan of it now. So 5, 6, 7. I typically do 20 on each leg, and then I'm pretty sure it's called open the gate, and then there's another that's called close the gate, which is just kind of the complete opposite, but this will open your hips up. It's insane. I wouldn't even judge it until you try it. It's actually great. But so yeah, I go through about a 5 to 10 minute stretch before I actually get my lifts. So upper and lower, like I said. So that's what we're focusing on right now. 4, 5, 6. And you'll just feel it. You'll feel your hips kind of open up. I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely improved my flexibility, 100%. Since I play basketball, it helps a lot. I make sure to do these before any kind of basketball hoop session I play. 19, 20, okay. And typically you can find a wall or something like this. I'm going to just flip this baby up. Find a wall or something like this. So you're just going to put a hand on it, and you're just going to 1, 2, and this is basically just doing the same thing, exploding and opening your hips. I'm telling you, this stuff is essential before a leg day. Obviously not as essential if you're hitting upper body, but I still recommend it, especially if you do any form of cardio like me. I do 40 minutes of cardio a day. I would definitely prioritize these things. Okay. The goal is obviously to get as high as possible, keeping your back leg straight, and just throwing this one through. Oh. And you'll notice the longer you do this and the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. But I'm telling you, it opens you up. Again, very important. If you're someone that gets injured easily, you have bad genetics, you get injured all the time, you need to stretch. You need to put stretching in your exercises. You have to be quite honest with you. Now for me, I've never got injured before in my life. Seems like everybody around me, that any kind of friends or anything, anybody I've ever worked out with, they always get injured. Whether it's Achilles or something, bro, it's like, take care of yourself and you won't get injured. Or this is what I think it is more times than not, is they just say that they're injured and they're not, just to get out of doing the things they know what they're supposed to do. That's my opinion. And I've seen it. I see it happen all the time. I have friends all the time that be like, well, I'm injured, I hurt my shoulder, or I can't do this, or my wrist, bro. It's all because they want to make excuses and not just do what they need to do. And I'm telling you what, those are not the kind of people you want to be around. I mean, you can try your best to help them, but if they don't want to help themselves, then you kind of just got to walk away, you know? Like, you know, not shut them out of your life completely, but, you know, if they don't want to help themselves, there's nothing you can do about it. You do all you can. It's my biggest thing. Anytime I try to help anybody, if I try helping them, I give them pointers, obviously not arrogantly, but humbly. And they just want to do their own thing and think I'm an idiot and I'm just there to make fun of them or put them down, whatever. I mean, that's on them. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if they just want to be arrogant and make excuses and not do what they're supposed to do, then, you know, let them do that. You know what I mean? Let them do that. I mean, fine. You gotta have people in your life that, you know, are gonna hold you accountable and make you a better person. And I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer of you are who you surround yourself with. It's very important. I mean, it's a very important terminology. It really is. 100% you are who you surround yourself with, and you cannot convince me otherwise. It's very true. I really don't know where to put this mic. I've actually been messing with it a whole lot. I think right here is good, as long as it doesn't go anywhere, which I don't think it will. Okay, so now that we got some stretching out of the way, upper body and lower body. Ooh. I usually do like a dead hang too, so I'll go grab a pull-up bar and I'll just sit there and hang for like, I do it like 2 or 3 times throughout my whole exercise, honestly. Throughout my whole workout, I'll just do it for like as long as I can, typically. And I tell you what, dude, that makes you taller and it stretches you out. So Dude, it's so hard to get through all this. Just bear with me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna be doing, so we're gonna start with shoulders, or no, we're gonna start with triceps. I usually typically start with triceps or shoulders, and we're gonna do some kind of like main movement for triceps. So for triceps, I want to do like skull crushers, whether it's with a easy curl bar or a barbell, but barbell is not really ideal, or dumbbells. Still haven't drunk on my pre-workout app. I think what we can do is, I think I'm gonna do skull crushers right here on this thick pad. I think it might work. You know, it's super big, but you know, it is what it is. I think it might work. I think this is what we're gonna do skull crushers on. Sweet. So like I said, any kind of main movement you're doing. Now for arm day, main movement, you can either do a main movement with shoulders or triceps. Obviously I'm doing it with triceps first, and then we're gonna do skull crushers. I'm gonna do a warm-up set, do 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12, see how I'm feeling, get my triceps pumped, of course, and then we'll hop into some shoulders. I'm not sure I'm gonna do for shoulders yet, but I'll figure that out when that time comes. Like I told you guys, I do like a dead hang, so I guess I can do it right here. This is just to really get you opened up more. My hands are so sore right now from hitting back yesterday, calluses. But just do like a little dead hang. Obviously, this isn't much of an ideal spot for it. It's kind of hard to do right here, but I'll typically hang and stretch myself out as best as I can, and then pop my back and, you know, do whatever. But we're gonna start with skull crushers as the main movement, and then, yeah, like I said, move into something shoulders. I usually typically so if I hit triceps, I'll jump into shoulders and then biceps, and then I'll go back there and recycle it. Instead of doing like a tricep on top of a tricep, I kind of give that a little bit of rest time in between. So that's what we're gonna be doing. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to ask. I don't know how, I might have to move this 100%. I might have to scoot this back as well. I can't use these. Someone obviously was some huge guys obviously benching like super heavy right here, so I'll just get this crap out of the way. Oh, dude, so I wear like beard oil, and it's like getting everywhere. Like I touch my face and you can just see oil like everywhere. That crap just goes everywhere. All right, so I can't even tell you the last time we've done skull crushers with a barbell, but it was speaking to me today for some reason, so we're gonna try it. A powerlifting bar, I thought. Anytime you do skull crushers, so my elbows are pointing out. This is typically how people mess it up. You know, tilt your elbows in, and then go down, which my hands need to get a little bit closer. This should be like shoulder width apart. Turn your elbows in. You go down to your skull. So it's called skull crushers. And just focus on really controlling it. I'm 2 reps in, and it's already burning my freaking triceps. So a little warm up of 12 is good enough for me. So I'm already pretty much feeling that pretty well, actually. I'm not going to do too much weight. I think I'm going to do I'll probably do the bar and probably we'll start with 5 pounds, see how that feels. I'm going to shoot for 12 reps. If that's still too light, I'll go up a little bit more. But typically skull crushers, you don't need a lot of weight. I know you see people like Sam Solik out here doing a plate on each side. That's insane to me. So yeah, I'm gonna start with a 5. If that's too light, go to a 10. But the barbell itself is already 45 pounds, so you gotta remember that. I know you have people out here like Samsolic that's freaking repping out a plate, but you know, we're not Samsolic here, so this is very, you know, average lifters. And I'm also not roided up, so it makes a big difference as well. Okay, I should probably start drinking my pre-workout. Take a second. What's up? Who's watching? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with comments and stuff, which I want to. Obviously, that's what I'm here for, is to help when I'm working out. But because I'm trying to go over so much information, kind of talk about what I'm doing. So since you just tuned in, I'm doing skull crushers, and I pretty much went over all the fundamentals of it. I will be posting the stream later, so it'll be up in public for anybody to watch. So anybody can watch it. It'll just be a regular video. You can learn it, implement it in your workouts. So I typically like to go live, especially when I get a bunch of DMs and people ask me like, hey, can you help me do this? Or do you know how to do this? Or what do you recommend for this? Or what should I eat here? I'm like, you know, so hopefully the live stream can help, but obviously I'm still going to respond to those people and help them the best that I can. Or if people just need to talk, you know. I love talking to people. I'm a talker. It don't matter. Like I don't care to respond to people and give them advice. I've been working out for a very long time. Okay. So, like I said, hands pretty close together. Shoulder width apart, I'd say. Be careful when you're unracking it, especially when you're this far out. You don't want to unrack like a bench press because you're in a hip. Like when you're going back to do your rep, you're gonna hit those guards. So turn your elbows in, shoulder width apart. So my hands are still. I keep doing that. Too far apart. See. So I think my ring fingers are on the lines where the grip starts. And I'm gonna turn elbows in and just. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that is enough weight for me. I don't need anything more than that. I really don't. I really hope I don't get copyrighted for this music playing. Because it seems like on any kind of live stream I do, if there's any kind of background music, yeah, it's like instant copyright. It's like, bro, I'm not trying to advertise the music. Like, but YouTube don't understand that, so. Oh, 5:45 on a Saturday. Who else do you know that's in the gym right now? I just don't understand. I've changed a lot as a person. Like, I don't like being out. I don't like hanging out with people very much. I'm not a partier. I don't never drink. Well, I've tried alcohol one time or twice maybe. But it was like a shot. Disgusting. Never doing that ever again in my life. Never smoked anything. I've never vaped. I've never chewed. I would say the worst thing I do is curse. Well, I did curse back a while ago. I haven't cursed in a long time, but I am not a cusser. And I don't like typically being around people that cuss, which, I mean, I don't care if you cuss as long as you kind of just like, you know, not every freaking word in your sentences is curse words. Like you kind of have it, you know, spaced out. You have a more wide vocabulary than just the F word. I'm sure we all know someone that just says the F word like 20 times in a sentence. It's just like you're making yourself look dumb, you know? So, I mean, my point is that be abnormal, you know, like don't be that person that just constantly seeks validation from other people, and don't be that person that cares what everybody else thinks around you, you know. Also don't be that person that feels like they need to be constantly distracted and not sober. Like be sober, learn how to control and cope with yourself and stuff like that. Like learn to control your emotions, you know.
Don't rely on a substance to get you high to distract you or push you away from your feelings. It's not long term, bro. I've seen so many people regret that kind of stuff. So just do what's right. You know what I mean? It's like really the best thing I can say. Just do what's right. We all know what to do. Just do the right things, you know. And that's what I'm all about. That's what my whole like brand's about. That's what my channel is about. Is every day, no matter what, somehow find a way to get better in that day. 1% better. 1%. If that's going for a walk, if that's eating a healthy meal, if that's hitting a workout, if that's doing some push-ups, if that's drinking water, if that's learning a new skill, if that's anything, you know, just become a little bit better. And that's like what I'm all about, and that's what I teach. And that's what I want to be known for, is being that guy that people can reach out to for advice and look up to and stuff like that. That's what I'm a big advocate of. I'm just not big into the partying and hanging out with people and, you know, constantly seeking validation. I'm very abnormal, and I like it that way, you know. You got to be different. You got to be unique if you want to be anybody in this world, because too many times people are just all the same, and, you know, people just want to be. I feel like the biggest thing I see anymore, especially since seeing my social media's grown and stuff, is like people are constantly reaching out for validation. Like, you have to learn, you have to figure it out for yourself, like how to validate yourself, how to be able to live with yourself easy. You know, you don't need to constantly search for validation from everybody. Like, yes, I'm here if you need me, and I'm going to respond to your DM, but like, you got to learn how to be okay with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like you're not doing something right, or if you feel like you're not where you want to be, then what am I supposed to do? What's anybody else supposed to do about that but you? You got to fix that. You know, so before you send out that DM and you're like, hey Josh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like, I'm feeling down about this. This person said this about me. Figure it out within yourself, like how to cope. Like, cope with like learn how to be okay with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, take care of yourself. Like, don't constantly search for validation from other people. Don't care what other people think. Like, be yourself. Be unique. You know, stand out. Be abnormal. Just because all your friends are going to a party doesn't mean you have to, you know. And if they try to force you into that, they're really not your friends, you know. Be a light to the world is really my best advice. And that's kind of what my whole brand is about. It's like who I want to be. That's what I want my stuff to be about, is being abnormal, but in a good way. So following God and, you know, a loner wait, what do people say? This used to be a huge thing. Being popular but lonely, or like I can't remember the exact terminology, but you know what I'm saying? Like, be distant but also known. You know what I mean? Or like, be different but known. So that's what I'm all about. But anyways, let's stop yapping. I'll get back into my second set and hit a second set Skull Crushers. So let's do it. So I just from doing it, just from experience, my ring fingers are going to go on the lines. Unrack it. Hopefully I'm not too close to those catchers, or I might hit them, but I don't think I am. So go down to your face. Up. Second set done. See what I mean? Like, you don't need a lot of weight. Like, I'm doing 55 pounds right now, and it's getting the job done for me. So, okay, and this brings me into a whole nother subject. So, let me move my camera and get a different angle. People like different angles, so I'm gonna do that. Let me check and make sure it looks good real quick. Flip. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so another topic of conversation I want to get into. I'll just fix this when I'm going to actually do my set. Another topic of conversation is like, I just forgot what I was thinking about. Oh yeah, weight. So like, when you're doing an exercise and you feel like You know, your buddy next to you is doing 100 pounds on dumbbell flat bench and you're doing 50. 9 times out of 10, if your buddy's probably ego lifting, you know. But if he's just that strong, he's pretty strong, look up to him, take his advice, obviously, but don't feel discouraged. If you're doing lighter weight, that's fine, you know. As long as you're controlling it and you're getting a pump from it and you're growing from it, that's what matters, and you're having good form. See, a lot of these people, they'll go around and they're all so worried about like how much weight they're doing, so they're going to be trying to like bench 500 pounds, which is just not ideal. For one, it's not good for you if you can barely bench it with good form, you know. But you gotta work for that. You gotta build up to that. You can't expect to walk in the gym and be able to outlift everybody. That takes years and years of practice and training and obviously genetics, you know, and discipline. I mean, so don't ever feel discouraged if you feel like you're not where you want to be weight-wise, because it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, people see me do this all the time. So like, I'll be doing like, you know, okay, let's just give another example, like bench press. Like, I'll do a plate. I would do a plate before I would do 2 plates, because I know with a plate, I know how to control it. I can have really good form. I can get a really good pump off of it. Yeah, I might be doing a little bit of extra reps, but I can control it better. I would rather choose lower weight any day because I can get a better pump off of it and I can control it better than ego lifting. So that's just a little thing that came in mind, is don't ever feel discouraged about how much weight you're doing. We all start somewhere. And so that's really where I'm getting at with that. Everything takes time. With everything takes time. People wish that stuff just happens like that. I mean, I fall victim to that same sin. Like with the business I'm trying to run, it's like I expect results so instantaneously that not only am I hurting myself, but it's just unfair. Like, why? Like, I can't expect that, you know? Neither should you. No matter what realm or what aspect of life it is, you shouldn't expect immediate results without putting in the work. You have to put in the work. You can't just, you know, expect everything to be handed to you, because it's just not how the world is. Something I tell people all the time is, which I heard it, so it's so good, it's so important. Nobody's coming to save you. You know, who's going to retire your family? Who's going to retire yourself? Who's going to take care of your girl? Who's going to take care of your dog? Like, you know, so you got to do it. You got to do it. No one else is going to do it. You got to do it. I got to do it, you know? So no one's coming to save me. You know, I can't just sit around and wait for something to happen. I can't sit around and wait for money to appear in my hand, or, you know, whatever the case may be. You have to get up. You have to take raw action. You have to do it. Every day you have to get 1% better. Going back to what I said, you have to get 1% better. You have to get up. You have to take accountability for absolutely and utterly everything. So even if it's not your fault, take accountability from it. Learn from it, because that will give you an advantage. You take accountability for absolutely everything. Not only that's going to boost you past everybody, right? Because you're going to learn from those mistakes even when they're not yours. You see what I'm saying? So take accountability. That's huge. Adaptability is another huge thing as a man. You got to learn how to adapt, or either gender. But don't get mad at me either. Yeah, there's 2 genders. But anyways, irrelevant. Learning to adapt. So there's new things happening all the time. For example, AI. Learning how to leverage AI and use it is being adaptable. You got to learn how to adapt. Instead of complaining like everybody else out here, adapt. Learn how to adapt. Learn how to use it to your advantage. Harness it and use it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? So I could talk all day about just things I've been through and stuff I've experienced. And most people, like my parents, would be like, well, you're only 19. You don't even know what it's like to live. I don't know if this makes sense, or if there's anybody else out there that feels like this, but like, I understand that I'm 19 going on 20, but like, I almost feel like I'm 40 mentally. I don't know how to explain it, but I do. Like, I feel like I've lived that much, you know? Like, I've lived such a like sped up life mentally, maybe not physically. Like, I've only been here 19 years, but I feel like I've lived such a longer life than that mentally. I feel like, and I'm leveraging that to my advantage, you know? So it all goes back on not caring what people think about you, even your parents. So if they're like criticizing you, thinking you need to get a job and work a 9 to 5 the rest of your life and clock in and out of a job, and you know that's not for you, then it's not for you. Obviously, God has a different calling for you. You'll feel that. You'll know that you'll feel that deep down in your chest, like that you were made for something greater. And that's how I've always felt. I've always felt like, you know, I was put on this earth to be a light, to be inspirational to help people. Like, and of course, God had to let me go through that. Like he helped, like he allowed me to hit rock bottom and experience that. So now that I understand that, and I can have empathy and sympathy for people that are going through that, and I know how to get out of it, if that makes sense. So I've always felt like that was my calling. It's just, everybody's different. I feel like everybody has potential, untapped potential. I feel like everybody can be anything they want. It's just whether they act on doing that or not. Like, everybody's born on this earth with the potential to be whatever they want, whether it's a millionaire or a superstar. It's just whether you tap into that potential or not, if that makes any sense. But I'm gonna hit a third set. I'm resting like 5 minutes in between every set. But I'm just trying to give good advice because, again, that's what I feel like my calling is. Oh, and oh my gosh, this brings me into another topic of conversation. But hold on, I'm gonna catch my breath real quick and get my camera turned around real quick. So yeah, I have one. I'm gonna do one more set of that, obviously. And instead of, I might do that one shoulder exercise. I never do it, but it's like it's that shoulder exercise where you literally just pick up the barbell like that. But I can't remember what it's called, but I'll show you guys. No, I just lost my train of thought. I'm saying so much at once that it's like there's just so much happening in my brain that I can't seem to put it all in words. The other thing I wanted to get into was, so yeah, like I was talking about, like accountability and adaptability. I feel like those two things are extremely important in our generation. But being yourself, like I said, very important. There's something I was just laying there, I was thinking about, like I really wanted to get into, I wanted to talk about. Well, here's another thing actually that I was thinking about is, so I'm sure we've all heard that video from Donald Trump. It's like, if I could give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's to never give up. Well, I don't know why. Like the last few years, that message came out a few years ago, but that has stuck with me. Like anytime I'm getting to that point where like I want to give up, I'm like, I remember that video and I'm like, I can't give up. I can't. Because what's the alternative, you know? Like think about that. What's the alternative if I give up? So like if you have a family to retire, you have people to take care of, like what's the alternative to you giving up, you know? Probably nothing good. So that's why you have to stay on this path. Obviously this path isn't made for everybody. That's why it's so freaking hard. But that's why you stay diligent and you be resilient, you know what I mean? There's just gonna be so many hard things that are gonna hit you, but that's part of the process. You have to fall in love with the process, not the destination. That's another huge quote. Fall in love with the journey, not the destination of it. You have to fall in love with the journey. So getting in here every day, you know, hitting a workout, trying to become better every single day, fall in love with the journey of it. And it'll become so much more easy for you. I promise it will. But I feel like I've never really gave like a brief introduction on myself on here. So I'm Josh. I'm 19, live in Indiana. My whole life has been predicated around being the youngest sibling, so I'm sure you can imagine what that's like. I was the youngest out of 3 older brothers and 1 sister. So a lot of my life growing up was getting picked on by my older siblings and cousins or whatnot, which I'm really happy it happened. You know, it turned me and made me a better person. It made me a stronger person. So honestly, I'm thankful for it in every way. And regardless of that, like going through hard things at a young age, I feel like is so beneficial. Or just going through hard things at all in general, I feel like it's just so beneficial for a person because there's a quote, hard times make, you know what I'm talking about, soft men create hard times, or whatever that quote is about. Super good. I mean, it's good, like, you know. And and this ties into another thing. So like, and I was talking about this the other day, which I know I'm supposed to be giving an introduction myself. I just get distracted. I enjoy talking about things that matter. you put a woman through the hardest things ever, like the hardest experiences from a young age to getting older, she will be very hard and nasty and mean. You put a man through very hard challenges and things in life, he will come out a very nice person, a good man, well respected, masculine. So it's just interesting, like how different experiences can affect both like either gender. So like you put a man through easy times and soft times, that man's typically going to be 500 pounds living in his mom's basement. Now, with a girl, you put her through really easy times, a good dad, someone that takes care of her, like easy times, she's going to be a really well-rounded woman. So that's kind of just my point with that. Like, so if you're a man, you have to do hard things. You have to go through hardship and trial. That's the only way you're going to progress and upgrade as a man, is by experiencing hard times and doing hard things, So every time you get, knocked down, you get beat up, you have to get back up, And now that only applies for a man, I feel like, most partly. Obviously as a woman, if you get beat down, you want to get back up, but it's just not in the same sense as a man, A man, you got to build armor around yourself. You got to have a shield. You got to protect yourself, because especially being a white male anymore, it's the hardest thing to be right now. I mean, you see how targeted white males are. I mean, my gender is a problem. My race is a problem. Being masculine is a problem. Like, so if you're a white male, I mean, just good luck. Like, we're screwed. Like, so that's why you just be accountable. I'm taking accountability for being white. Like, it sucks, and being a male, it sucks. But I gotta live with that. I gotta be, just accept who you are, and make the best of it. Regardless if someone makes fun of me because of any of those reasons, I'm still gonna love them, because I know that's what God would do, and that's what I'm big about, And I love talking about God. That's another big thing myself. I'm a big believer in God. I'm a big believer in doing the right things. I'm a big believer in, once you do the right things, God/universe will bless you. So like, if you're working really hard every single day, doing everything right, if you're eating right, you're working out right, I mean, you're going to have a nice body. We live in a result-based reality/world. If you put the work in, you're going to get the results you want. But if you have to, you're going to have to get the results. And I've been there. I've half done a lot of things in my life, and I'm like, where's the results? Well, I was half putting in the effort, you know what I mean? So that all comes down to you and the decisions you make. Enough said, let's hit this 4 set, and we'll yap a little bit more after that. Oh, a little nice shot through the mirror. I like that. Sweet. Moving, yeah, like, that's why this stream is titled, Q&A or whatever, and I know not a lot of people are asking questions, which is fine, so I'm kind of just giving answers. So I'm not going to like go through my whole workout and show you guys all that, but I'm going to just, talk about a few things that are important to me and that I think will be beneficial for you guys. So that's really what it's about. So, yeah, finished up skull crushers. I'm probably just gonna hit biceps next, and then do some shoulders. But I want to sit down and just talk a little bit more to you guys, and then I'll end up the stream there. Because again, that's really what I'm here for, is just to talk and be beneficial and help people out that need help. I'm gonna lower this real quick, so just bear with me for a second. It might look a little shaky. I'm lowering these legs. Oh yeah, that's really weird, huh? Okay. Oh yeah, that makes a big difference. Okay. So I'm sitting down on the bench now. I had to lower these legs to my tripod. Dang, I've already been on this for 40 minutes. But back into the fitness topic. So, like I was talking about, I come in the gym. Just a quick summary. I do 10 minutes of walking. I stretch. Then I do a main movement. So if it's chest, I'll do a main movement, either being bench or incline bench. Say I do flat bench. I'll do incline dumbbell after. If I do incline bench, I'll do flat dumbbell after. See what I mean? It's constantly like, hitting those different muscle groups in different ways. And I always end with like a chest fly, whether that's cable, dumbbells, or a machine. The flies, that's perfect for burning out and just finishing out. You can start with that if you really wanted to as like a warm up, but I prefer to end with it. So you'll have like a main movement, then you'll have accessories. So that's why I always go by. I'll have a main movement at the beginning of every kind of workout. So another example, leg day. So leg day, I will do free weight squat, so like just a barbell like this. I'll do Smith machine squat, or I'll do deadlift. Or maybe like a heavy RDLs. That's my main movement. And then I'll move into accessories, so like leg extensions and the seated hamstring curl and calf raises, stuff like that. Back day, pull-ups or lat pull downs. Those are my two main movements that I go back and forth from. I feel like as a man, you should be able to do pull-ups, push-ups, squats, crunches, stuff like that. Any kind of body weight workout, I feel like you should be able to do. Even as a powerlifter, you should be able to do 20 push-ups. Come on, And another thing is if you're a man, you should be able to know how to fight. That's something I'm also big on. That's why I'm working with, hopefully, if Debo ever, talks back to me, supposed to be working with his kickboxing gym and getting in there and, learning how to fight. Because I feel like in any realm of being a man, you should know how to fight. That's essential. You can't be a man and not know how to fight. So that's something I'm really big about. I feel like being a man, you have to have all these, checklists. Obviously, that's opinion-based, but I feel like in reality, that's what any woman would want, or what any other man would look to be a man. So, being in shape, being well-respected, having a good status/reputation, being able to talk well, being strong mentally, stuff like that, to be able to know how to defend yourself, stuff like that is all I feel like is very essential for being a man. Now, whether other people agree with that or not, it's the truth, and that's why I feel like God called men to be as protectors and providers and leaders. Now, our generation, obviously, all the gay people and stuff, which I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get people coming after me because I don't necessarily agree with what they do, but you can just tell that's the wrong way of life. Two dudes aren't meant to be together. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. It doesn't work. It's like, being in kindergarten where you'd match up the shapes, put a square inside the square hole. It doesn't work, you can't put two, it just doesn't work, going back to being a kid, you can just tell that don't work. But I don't want to get too much in that again, because I don't want to say that too much publicly, but my point is God's real, and he gives us instructions on how to be a man. Now, whether we choose to follow that instructions is based on our free will, which he gave us, by the way. So, getting into it, I'm a big believer and follower of that. So that's what I try to be. And I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like God put me where I'm at today to help other people and to help myself. Because the more I talk about these things and the more I do things every day like this, the more I learn, the better person I become. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, because I struggle all the time with stuff that you guys probably don't even struggle with. I struggle with stupid stuff. One of the bigger ones being lust. As a man, it's hard. It's so hard to be a man, especially nowadays when everything's sexualized. It's so hard to be a man. Which I've gotten a lot better at it. All glory to God, for sure. But being a man and seeing something online, a girl in a bikini, it's hard to not look at her sexually. You know what I mean? So, or being out in public and seeing a girl wearing shorts that go up her butt. It's hard to your eyes just go there. They just go there, and it's hard to okay, yeah, of course, it's hard to stop that, but it's when they go there, you got to instantly pull back, because once you start thinking about entertaining it is when it becomes sinful. So just remember that. But that's something I struggle with. 100%. I'm very vulnerable about it. I'm very vulnerable with what I struggle with, and I'm just being honest. So that and gluttony are my two biggest ones. Eating, this is a big habit I did when I was a kid. This ties in a little bit about me, but when I was a kid, I would eat when I was bored. I would eat for comfort. I would eat to cope. And I think a lot of people obviously fall victim to that. I mean, look at America. But that all ties into knowing where to value yourself at, knowing where to look for that comfort, because obviously that's the wrong place. You know what I mean? And also it ties into being disciplined. Like, I think anybody would know deep down that eating is not the answer, right? So if you're bored or you're struggling, that's not the answer. Eating is not the answer, you know. So that's really just my point with that. But I'll get ready to wrap up the stream, guys. I hope this helped. I hope you guys can maybe understand me better, and I'd love to do more lives in the future like this. Actually being able to interact with people. Unfortunately, not a lot of people tuned into the stream. A lot of people are in and out, which is fine. I understand. You know, you got to build up yourself, your personality, because I don't expect anybody to watch my stream and not, if they don't really know who I am. You know what I mean? Because I'd be the same way if I didn't know somebody and they were streaming. It's like it's kind of hard for that to be engaging if you don't even know who they are. You know what I mean? So that's what this is. I'm trying to build my online presence, and I'm trying to help people, and I'm trying to do what I feel like I was called to do. So that's where I'm at, guys. If you guys would like, just share it around. I'm all about exposing the truth and being loving and kind and helping people out. So that's all I ask, is to share it with a friend or a family member, and bring these kind of conversations more into topic. I love to podcast, by the way. So if anybody's ever interested in podcasting, feel free to reach out and we'll do a podcast. I've been meaning to do so many of them, but it's hard to, you know, find those right people to sit down and do it with, because a lot of people will just be there to waste your time, and I don't want to do that. So feel free to reach out, and we'll do a podcast together. It would be awesome. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you tuned in for a few seconds, or if you're watching this afterwards, I appreciate it so much. It means the world to me. You don't even understand. Because we're all out here trying to get better. So I'll see you guys later. Until next time, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you liked it. And if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. My social medias are on my YouTube banner. I'm always responding to people, unless it's junk, unless you're just being dumb. I will respond to you, and I will help you. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching the stream, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.